Is using AI making you sound like everyone else? It's becoming more and more common for people to use AI tools like ChatGPT to help them save time and write content. And I definitely recommend it. I've been teaching it. I think it's a great idea to use this tool to help you be more productive. But here's the catch. With more and more people using the same tool, we're all starting to sound the same. And that's a problem because your voice is one of the most powerful things you have. It's one of the most powerful tools for your brand, for your business. And if your content starts to sound just like everyone else, or more importantly, like a bot, you're not going to connect with your audience. You're not going to convert people into paying clients or customers, and you're definitely not going to stand out. I have a statistic that I shared in a recent newsletter, but I want everyone to hear this, so I'm going to share it again. 82% of Americans think that they can spot AI written content, and 40% trust the brand less because of it. So if people think that your content is written by AI, they may not just scroll past, they might also not trust you or your business. I know I've run into this myself. Maybe you have too. When I'm going through my emails and I see an email that was obviously written by AI, not a human, I stop reading. I feel cheated. I feel like the brand or the business didn't really care, and I don't think I need to read the rest of it. In this video, we are going to fix it. We're going to cover the top words, punctuation, and sentence structure that is giving away AI writing as written by AI, and my favorite tips of how we can still use AI, but stand out and sound just like you. And don't forget to stick around to the end. I'm going to share my favorite tip that is super simple, super easy, super fast, but it will make your writing sound human instantly. If we haven't met yet, my name's Tori. I help overwhelmed solopreneurs and small brand builders grow online with better social media, smarter content, and AI tools that actually work. If that sounds like something you're into, hit that subscribe button and let's get right into it. First, I want to talk a little bit about why we're all starting to sound the same. AI is smart, but it's not creative. It pulls from patterns and things that it sees the most often. So when you ask it a question, it's not pulling anything unique out of the air or making anything up. It's looking at the most common answers and phrasing to give you something that fits what you're asking for. Even after you successfully train AI tools to use your voice, over time you're going to notice it start slipping into those old familiar patterns. And that's because AI likes to mimic what it sees the most often. And so the more and more people using AI, it's going to go back to follow those same types of language structures, kind of like a feedback loop of sameness. So if your content is starting to sound just like everyone else's, it's not you, it's the AI tool. Under the hood, these AI tools are optimizing their responses for most likely, not most original. And that's why it is so important for you to stay present and step in and make changes and make edits and make it your own. So let's talk about the top giveaways that your content was written by a bot or AI. And I want to start with overused words. There are certain words that are starting to scream, ChatGPT wrote this, and you're probably seeing them over and over again. The top 10 that I've noticed are leverage, unlock, harness, empower, transform, seamless, revolutionize, unprecedented, game changer, synergy. It's probably a good idea to go back, hit pause, and screenshot that list. It's an easy, quick test as you're going through your content, or even better, tell your AI tool to avoid those words in the future. You can Google other lists out there for kind of what's now being used as the top AI words. But the best test is, have you actually ever used any of those words in conversation? I know I haven't said synergy or revolutionize when I'm talking to people, and that's generally a pretty good test of whether or not you would write the content that way, is if it's using words that you would use. The second giveaway that your writing was probably done by an AI tool or a bot is an EM dash. EM dashes are those long dashes that happen mid-sentence that kind of break up the sentence or switch the phrasing. I used to love EM dashes. I used them all the time. I was a big fan of them. In fact, I got in arguments with other writers about using them, and unfortunately AI agrees and now puts them everywhere. I've had some outputs from AI tools that have EM dashes in every other sentence, and it just looks so fake and not written by a human. Other punctuation that's overused by AI are ellipses, the three dots, and an overuse of parentheses that can start to kind of sound robotic. So the best thing you can do here is to break up your text in different ways. Use commas, use periods, use shorter sentences. And most of the time, when my old dear love and em dash is in the middle of a sentence, you can just put a period there and start a new sentence. The third giveaway of your content is the use of emojis. Again, a few years ago in marketing, we were encouraging businesses, especially on social media, to use emojis. There was a lot of research behind the fact that emojis made things easier to read because it broke up the text, it gave it more emotion and more interest, and it made your writing feel more human. Well, guess who read those studies and uses emojis in its writing all the time? AI tools. AI tools like ChatGPT are using emojis extensively. They're using multiple at a time, using them as bullet points, and in fact changing the emojis for every single bullet point to try to illustrate the point of what that bullet point is about. And emoji fatigue is growing for people. A study in 2024 showed that 56% of people thought emoji use made the content seem less credible. So now we want to use emojis with intention. We only want to use one, maybe two, just to drive the point home, or if we really do need to break up the text or draw attention to a certain line, but we're not wanting to use them as a design element. We're wanting to keep it very sparse and making sure it sounds and looks like something you would actually write. The fourth giveaway for your content are negative positive restatements. We're getting into grammar a little bit here, so stick with me. This is probably my biggest pet peeve as a writer with AI tools right now, and I've been training all of my chats to not use these anymore. Especially as someone with a journalism background, I was trained to write with very short sentences and be very clear. And AI is kind of the opposite. It wants to be wordy and verbose and really drive the point home, so the sentences tend to be longer. So what a negative positive restatement is it means the sentence starts off with, it's not this, it's that. You're not this, you're that. The problem isn't this, it's that. You're starting with the negative statement and backing it up with the positive statement. Statements like these really weaken your voice, and it can actually make the reader have to work harder to understand what you're saying and maybe even misinterpret what you're saying, especially if you're writing for social media or marketing, and you have to think that people, when they're scrolling, aren't necessarily using their best brain, right? We talk about that a lot in my videos. We want to make this as clear and obvious as possible. So why would we start with what it isn't? We should just say what it is. So instead, what you can do is use short, clear, confident language that gets your point across right away. And that's going to make you sound much more human and also much more trustworthy. Now, I gave you some tips as we were going about how to counteract some of those specific examples, but in general, moving forward, I really want you to be able to create content quickly with AI that still sounds like you, sounds human, and builds trust with your potential clients or customers. So a few ways we can do that is to train these AI tools to write like you. So we want to give the AI tool past favorite writing examples, things you're really proud of, things that you like a lot, things that definitely sound like you, and tell AI that this is the voice it should follow. Then when AI gives you back results based on testing and seeing what it's giving you back, make sure that you actually go in and make it sound more like you. Add any extra details, any extra stories, and make any changes that maybe we've talked about already or things you notice as it's writing for you. And then when you've made all those changes, feed it back to the AI tool so it knows what sounds more like you. Say, this was great, but really this version sounds more like me, so please update future responses to sound more like this. Another quick thing you can watch out for is making sure that these tools are varying up the length of your sentences and the structure of your sentences. So we don't want all of our sentences to be super short or super long. We want to go back and forth between long sentences and short sentences. And similarly with sentence structure, we don't want a lot of those negative positive restatements. We don't want a lot of those EM dashes. Another one that can sound kind of AI is they'll do a lot of 3-point lists throughout their writing. So make sure there aren't too many lists written out. Just pick the most important thing to provide. That can be a big tell, is making sure that those sentences change up as you're writing. That sounds much more human. And as you continue to create content with AI, as you get more comfortable with AI, you're starting to understand the type of responses you're going to get. I want to encourage you to use AI as more of a tool to help you find deficiencies instead of increasing efficiencies, right? So instead of just making us faster and making things go better and quicker, I want you to think about how you can ask AI to make you better, you quicker. And so what that means basically is instead of telling AI to write this thing for you, give AI a sample of what you think should be written or maybe a first draft and just ask it what it would do to make it better. You don't even have to let it do it for you. Just ask it for suggestions, and then you can incorporate the suggestions that you think make your content look stronger. This can be a great tool to help you learn from the AI tool instead of the AI tool just doing things for you. If you've been nodding along in this video like, yes, I've been looking for how to get AI to sound like me, I have the best tool for you. It is free and it's going to help you train AI to be your writing assistant and always sound human. It's called Prompt Coach. It's a free ChatGPT plugin that you can download, and it's going to help you create prompts that are going to get you better, more unique outputs, and ultimately help you create content much faster using AI tools like ChatGPT. Prompt Coach is 100% free all the time. The link is in the description, so save yourself some time and grab it below. And now it's time for that bonus tip I promised you at the beginning of the video: how to make your AI content sound human instantly. This may be a tip you've heard before if you're a writer, but I don't think we do it enough, especially in this AI age. When you get output from an AI tool and you're not sure if it sounds exactly like you, the best thing you can do is read it out loud. Reading it out loud and seeing if that's something you would actually say to another person is the quickest way to catch unnatural phrasing or sentence structure and make sure that your voice stays in your content. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay social.